What is up, YouTube? This is your boy, Mr. Marvel here, back with another video. Again. So I wanted to talk about, I was gonna wait a couple days to do this video. I didn't know what to say at first, but I wanted to get the right time to what the right to say about this movie and the trailer I've seen and all that. I wanted to give a really good input about it in the best way I can and how I can describe it. And, took a little bit, thought about it, like, okay, let's try getting this video really good. Let's try to do really good, everything just get together. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, let's do this, let's do that, all that stuff. And, get something together. So I officially watched the Avengers 4 trailer, End of Games. And I watched it twice. And, just to watch it again, watch it a couple of times just to get the hang of it. Watched the trailer, came in around 9 a.m. this past week, and on Friday, this past Friday it came on, and watched it, loved it. They just killed it to the fucking T, perfection, straight up perfection. Just a really, really, really good trailer of Avengers 4 Endgame, and I thought it was great. I thought everything that they did with the film and the trailer and the introductions to it, perfect, just perfect. I think it's the best trailer I've seen so far of Avengers and the Marvel Universe they've done so far. The introduction, the Marvel name, going to dust, spot on, great. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. No doubt whatsoever. It was the best fucking thing I've ever seen. I'm gonna camera over here. Ever. The best trailer ever I've seen of the Marvel Universe. It was greatest. It was great. I mean, just the introduction of it and how they presented it and how they did it, and how they, from the beginning to the end of it, 2-minute and 36-second video. It was just spot on. Excellent trailer. I can't wait to come out April 26th. They did say May, but I guess they changed it to April, so it'll be April of 2019 that Avengers 4 Endgames comes out into theaters. I'm recommending everybody go see it. Major Marvel fans, even to my subscribers on my YouTube channel, go see it. You'll love it. You'll be obsessed with it, like I am. It's great. It's an absolute great trailer to see. It's gonna be an awesome movie to watch, and I look forward to see what this chapter of a Marvel Avengers in the universe brings to the table now, and what they can continue with the storyline which they have, and the scenes I watched, and people and all this, and I saw certain characters in there that I wanted to see where everybody ended up being and whatnot, and who was there, who wasn't, and how to get everything back, and it was just great trailer that I've seen of Avengers 4 Endgame, and it's a really good trailer, and I'm glad that they waited to do it because they wanted to do it Wednesday of that day, but out of respect of George W. Bush's father that passed away, that's respect there. That they waited, until Friday to do, which is fine. Which is fine, I didn't complain about it at all. It was out of respect to that for the Bush family and everything like that. So it was fine. And then Friday came, trailer came out, watched it, absolutely loved it, and then that was that. I'm excited. There's not much to talk about this. I mean, it's just I think it's a very good trailer, and like I said, I saw pictures of everybody on there, and the trailer was pretty good. And then you saw Ant-Man come up, pull up to the main entrance. The entrance, apparently he must have got out of his portal, because he was trapped in there. Because at the end of Ant-Man and Wasp, he got, towards the end of that, he got, everybody went poof, and he ended up and he was going to another portal to do something, got stuck in there, somehow he must have, got out somehow. I don't know how, but looking forward to watching and seeing what his story was. But that was pretty good because he got lucky with that, and even with watching the trailer and seeing Hawkeye, I'm like, holy crap, we forgot all about him because they didn't really mention him too much at all. So they really kept it kind of on a down low. They didn't really say too much about who was going to be in it, who was going to be in the trailer specifically or anything like that. They just put the right characters in there and happened to see Hawkeye in there. It's like, oh wow, this is interesting. So he must have really, I guess, survived some. I don't know, and I think it kind of worked out, and I think with everybody there and what they continue with it now, and for the movie to come out, and then they got again Captain Marvel first, and then they got Avengers 4 in the games, which is good. And they got Spider-Man Far Away from Home. I don't know how that's gonna play out either. I mean, and I didn't want to question it too much about that movie, about Spider-Man Far Away from Home, that movie, and I don't know how that's gonna work out specifically, because I don't know how that's gonna fit in with where Spider-Man now, what's gonna happen. Is there gonna be some kind of like he's coming back, he's not? I mean, we really don't know the basic of it until we watch Avengers 4 Endgames and see what really happens in that movie, because that kind of will give us more of a detail and a better view of, okay, what's really going on here, and how's this going to continue with, doing that, and then Doctor Strange 2 and Black Panther and all that. That pretty much those things like question, and like what else the specific people, how that's going to become a movie is beyond me. But I think with Avengers 4's Endgame, there might be some questions answered. There may not be some questions answered. I mean, it's not like I read the damn script of the movie, like I know what happens to the whole thing I can say, but I don't. They never give us that. And, just thinking about it, you really probably might have an idea of what they can do with that and how they can probably figure out, okay, what's next, what can they do, and, what's going to happen. And that's the biggest question of anyone's mind is like, you got all these things and all these moves that they're making, but again, you don't know specifically how that's going to play into, like, Spider-Man Far From Home, because that's what I really want to say. That's kind of gives us an answer there, like, okay, there's got to be a Spider-Man, but who's going to play him, if the other one just, like, disappeared, and, we really have to put into considerations, like, okay, what's going to happen with this, and how they're going to play into that, because we don't know if he's going to be in it, or he's not going to be in it. We really don't know about the situation with Tom Holland and all that, and then, Doctor Strange as well. I mean, we really don't know what's going on, or T'Challa and all that stuff, and, Wakanda and all that things, and all those, and, I'm curious to see what happens with that specifically, because, you really want to see, like, the characters who iconically brought this character's life. It would be nice to see them come back, but if it turns out to be different kind of story here, then it could be, like, a whole different world without what we're used to at this point in time, because, it'd be different to see somebody else filling these shoes, but who would, and how they could fix that, and how can they really make that of a genre here, of a consideration, like, okay, can we really do this without these specific characters, but, what would happen if they could put in consideration, like, okay, if that doesn't happen, then what's plan B? Because you really need to figure out what's next for this, for Spider-Man Far From Home, for, like, Black Panther 2 and Doctor Strange 2 and all that. You really need to put it into consideration, like, okay, what's next for that? And what does the Marvel Universe have, and what the Russo Brothers have once they come back from the, bit of a break that they're going to have, and then do, like I said, go into Secret Wars and then do whatever else, because I know Russo Brothers do that, and, they build the Marvel Universe, and they have the directors doing other things, but with Spider-Man and all that as well. It's just, you have to really put it in consideration, like, okay, what's next here, and what's to come, because we really don't know if what Thanos did is really going to affect the Avengers now, because it pretty much did, and will there be any kind of change or any kind of, like, a shock to us when we see this film, like, okay, something's going to happen, we don't know what specifically that's going to happen in that film, and that's pretty much the questions that I would want to have answered, or consider to get into specific detail with the film, is we really don't know. And as fans of this, as we, get into it, comes closer to, coming to 2019 and all that stuff, you really have to put this in consideration, like, okay, what is next for these major film franchises, and where these characters come back, from what Thanos did to them with a snap of a finger here. I can't snap, but close enough. Like, that's really something that we have to really consider here, because as a fan and fellow YouTubers here, and fans of this stuff, and it's just like you really don't know what's gonna happen with what's about to come here, and nobody knows. That's the good part. It's like a mystery we want to figure out, and we're slowly trying to build into it. You have a lot of questions, but more questions than answers than questions, because you really want more of an answer to it than you want to a question, because the answer will give you more than a question will give you anything specifically. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, if Thanos did what he did to them and wiped out at least 50% of the Avengers now, what's to come after all that happens? And you really have to think about that hard. You really have to think about that really hard here, because that's a question that everybody really would want to know. It's like, okay, what Thanos did, everybody disappeared, 50% of the Avengers gone. What's to come out? What's to come now? What is the plan to do what they have to do to, get at Thanos and do what they gotta do with him? What's the next chapter with that? And I think with Avengers 4 Endgames coming up in April 26th, that's going to answer all our questions, I think. Hopefully it does. Because we really don't know that if any of these characters are going to come back. We don't know if, Spider-Man's going to come back, and Doctor Strange and Black Panther, all the people that really disappeared, like Bucky and all them, and, and all this stuff, and all those characters as well. It's just you really have to think hard enough to, like, okay, they put out a lot of link videos, a lot of behind the scenes. It all could just be some kind of, BS bullshit that they just try to get throw off a game. I think it kind of worked, but may not have. But you look at it from any perspective, you really have to think here, like, is any of the stuff that they put out before the trailer has anything to do with the movie to come? And I don't know if I don't specifically think it does, but it may not. You really have to think hard enough, like, okay, is there a way to really put this in a decent perspective here, and to really think about what they've done online with this stuff, and how they created this, to come to the trailer. And, you really have to think hard enough to say, do you know the answer to it? But do you really, really have the answer to the question? More than you would have an answer to anything else, like to do this specifically. And to my state of mind here, like, it all could just be bullshit no matter what, with the link videos and what they're trying to throw us off with, and the only thing they're trying to put out and trying to throw us off like a game here. It could be totally different now. To see that, and to see what they've come up with now with this, with the Avengers 4 and all this stuff, you really have to think hard enough here, like, is there a way to bring any of these people back? Or are they just gone for good? Because you really have to think, like, could they be somewhere else? Could they be in another dimension? Could it be in another planet? Could it be somewhere else that, they have a way to come back or not? Or it's just no more. You really have to, we have to think hard enough, like, there could be a possibility there's a way to come back from this, but we, as fans and all this, we really don't know, because you don't know what they've come up with and how they can really put a spin on this. Like, they really want to give us intense and excitement for the movie, and they are. It's just really interesting to see how it all plans out, and how it becomes to be like, okay, this is what it's going to be now, and that's it. Is this really going to be like the end of the Avengers going after, Thanos and, doing all that to defeat him? Or is it done completely, and then you think about, okay, what's next with that? Or if there's anything at all. And you really have to figure out, okay, from watching all the link videos, from the cartoons the cartoon I watched that very closely, because I don't know what the cartoon, if that has anything to do with the movie specifically, because I don't know if it does. In my mind, I don't think it does. I don't think it has anything to do with the movie at all. I think just the cartoon that they have was something they just put together, try to make us think about it, make us really think, like, okay, could this be possible that they bring these characters together, and everybody in general. Now, that could be one true question, but I don't think it is. I think with the cartoon and what they put out and how they've done it to come up to collaborate all this, it could be a whole different story from what I'm speaking about this year. It could be a whole different chapter of. It could be from what I was talking about from cartoon. I could all be right about that 100%, but I'm not. I could be, but I'm not. You know, between the odds of 1 out of 100, I'm probably basing it on maybe, I'd say 15, maybe, 15%, or like maybe negative, like maybe 5%, because 5 out of 50% of it. The odds of that, 100 or 1 out of 1,000, like of it to really happen, and to really put it in a decent perspective, like, okay, it could happen, but will it happen? I don't think it will. I think what the Russo Brothers have come up with and how they made their storyline and the trail and all that, the trail of it, I think it's going to be totally different. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what they've come up with now, and how this Avengers 4 Endgame is gonna be, and what's the next chapter for it. Besides Secret Wars, we already know that, but what's to come, and that's really what we really want to figure out here. I mean, like I said, we'll get all the answers when we see the movie. See if anything happens after that. But who knows? That's the biggest mystery that we all want to see. Is like, okay, what's next for the Avengers after this happens, and what's to come, and we don't know, because we've not seen a movie. We don't know. You could, people can spit their guesses, they can talk about it all they want, but you just really don't know. You really have to think about it, like from any perspective. You don't know what they've said or what they've done, because they really have a lot of people on TV talking about it and say too much about it, but one or two, and that's it. They really keep it, like I said, they keep it very, very low key, very, very quiet. No spoilers of the trailer, no name, no nothing. That was pretty good. That was good by the Russo Brothers and Marvel Studios to really do that for us, which is nice. They don't have to really throw stuff at gaming, but I really don't know specifically what's going to happen at the end of this movie, because, again, as a fan, I sit through the whole thing. I don't leave until the very, very end. There isn't any extra clips or any scenes that we have to watch to really figure out what could happen here. Something like Captain Marvel will do the same thing with that. Any movie I've seen, even it doesn't matter what it is, if it's Marvel, DC, I'll still sit through it no matter what. But that's the truth. That's what being a true fan of that, because you really have respect for this. Like, we love this stuff as fans. We love this stuff. We're just obsessed with this stuff. We can't help it. We're just huge Marvel and DC fans, and we don't care if people judge us for it or not. Who gives a crap? We're just really happy that they can make these awesome Marvel and DC movies as well. I'm sorry, I'm not talking about DC too much on this, but just saying in general, like, it excites us enough to say, this is worth it. This is fucking worth it, because this pretty much set in safe here now of what's to come with Avengers 4 and Endgames, and what can happen next. It's up to Marvel, and we have to just wait and see, and really be like, excited, they're intense and excitement, just like, this is gonna be the best one that they've done. Like I said, Infinity War was good too, and that was really, really good, and I think this one could be really good as well. I'm just curious to see what's next for this, and hopefully it works out. Really hope it does. So, well, I'm gonna end my video here. Again, this is your boy Mr. Marvel. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you to my 5 subscribers I have. Subscribe to this video, like I said always. Leave comments down below the video. I will get back to you guys. Until then, peace.